Attention Danton. Urgent. I guess it must be. Hey, Gord.
Amy!
Have you got it?
Nothing that would interest if you check back later.
Bye, Gord.
Goodbye.
I'm surprised Tiberius allows buildings in this condition to remain standing near his tower. The aristocrat guard. They're no pushovers.
So, the idea for Shardlight came about as a sort of building on a little idea that I had, and then I talked to Ben about it. If you remember, I sort of remember it, but it was something along the lines, to make a long story very short, it was something along the lines of how I wanted to make a game set during the medieval times, during the Black Plague, and how I wanted there to be ravens and some sort of like death-like character who was part raven who would go caw and his wings would spread.
Yeah, you basically came to me with the idea that you'd said, "Oh, I would talk to these other people about this idea I had, and they didn't think it was very good." And you told me it was sort of medieval times, Black Plague sort of situation, and a Grim Reaper sort of character following the player around. And you didn't really have much more to it than that. And I sort of said, well, I don't think it's a bad idea, but it needs something more to work as a game than just this figure following you around. So how can we turn that into something? I mean, we hadn't decided to work on it together, but I think I sort of said you could turn it into more, who is this Grim Reaper?
Yeah. Do you remember how it evolved? How it evolved into the whole post-apocalyptic setting? Because I don't.
I really don't know. I honestly have no idea how we turned it. I think we both played Dishonored and thought it'd be cool to make a game in that sort of setting, where you have the aristocracy and you have this sort of plague. So I think we kind of ran with that. I'm not sure. I guess
that's one of the problems of doing
Dishonored.
Commentary. Yeah, that's one of the problems of doing commentary on this sort of thing so late into productions, that you completely forget because you've been working on things so long that you forget. But anyway, I think we pretty much talked about it, and it somehow turned into this. So
Yeah,
sorry we couldn't be more insightful.
I'm going to say Dishonored was probably a really large part of it turning from that idea into this sort of setting that we have now. And also, we both like Fallout, so
yeah,
that was probably a fair bit of it. But yeah, that was the genesis of the idea, and you saying, oh, the other people didn't really think my idea was very good, and us sort of putting our heads together to try and turn it into something more solid.
The doors to the Ministry of Energy, one of the tallest standing buildings in the city. You all keeping busy?
Extremely. Now please, move along.
I really wish I could do something to fix these up. They'd make great homes for people with nothing. Hello, I'm here to see Tiberius.
Very well. Proceed.
It's beautiful. I don't think I've ever seen so many shards in one place like that. Tiberius, in all his glory. I wonder what happened to the leg. Well, it's nice to see someone can afford to make repairs to their home. Hard at work, making sure this place doesn't collapse. The aristocrat guard. They're no pushovers. The hallway goes further into the tower, eventually leading to the elevators.
One of the films Francisco recommended that I watch when making this game was Children of Men, a film I really liked. But before I'd seen the film, I'd actually painted this scene with the tall statue with the damaged left leg in this entrance shot to the big tower. So it was a little uncanny to watch the film and see that it had Michelangelo's David in the same sort of central position in the camera shot with the same leg damaged. It was a pure coincidence, but had I seen the film before painting this scene, I'd most probably have done the exact same thing but on purpose. So I'm glad of the outcome, despite the fact that no reference was originally intended at all.
So why do the aristocracy dress the way they do? One of the things I wanted to do with this game was be unique, since post-apocalyptic stories and games are a dime a dozen. One influence for this was the Hunger Games, where the residents of the capital dress in bizarre fashion compared to the rest of the population, most notably the character Effie Trinket. I've always had a soft spot in my heart for fops, which is to say the more eccentric dandies of the 18th century, so I thought featuring that style in this game would be a fun way to set it apart, as well as be a good way to visually demonstrate the class divide in the world. In order to make the antagonists appear more sinister, I figured not showing their faces was key, as well as being an important story element. The porcelain mask converted into a gas mask did the trick nicely. The inspiration for the creepy porcelain mask came from a TV show called Nip Tuck, which featured a character called the Carver in its 3rd season, who was a serial killer that wore all black and a creepy porcelain mask. I always found this image highly disturbing and always wanted to have the opportunity to use it in a game somewhere.
It would be rude to disturb them. I'm afraid to breathe too close to this thing, let alone touch it. The leg doesn't look like it's too stable. It's too pretty to mess with.
Welcome back, miss. I trust the job went well?
Well enough. Can I go up?
Yes, but I'm afraid we're going to have to hold on to your weapon. I'm sure you understand.
I do. Here you go.
Thank you. Take the elevator to the top floor and let the soothsayer know you've arrived.
Ah, the soothsayer. Right.
He's harmless. If he tries to tell your fortune, just go with it. It makes him feel important.
Thanks for the advice. That photo gives me chills. The plaque underneath says, "Blast Day, always remembered." I really don't like looking at this. Some old guy. The plaque underneath says Caligula. The banner has got the Ministry of Energy's symbol on it. It's the Constitution that was drafted in order to form the aristocracy. You've seen one guard, you've seen them all. The call button for the elevator. This is one of the elite guards. They aren't allowed to speak to anyone. I don't want to get too close. Who knows what kind of trouble I'd get into if I knocked it down. Keep it together. This'll be over soon.
Ah, hello. Please, come in.
This tapestry isn't in the best shape. The bottom has been completely torn off. It's full of shards. Pretty, but I don't think it would help keep anyone warm. It's hard to say exactly what, but something about this decoration is extremely unsettling. It's hard to say exactly what, but something about this decoration is creepy. I wonder who that used to be. If that's supposed to make this place any less spooky, it's not doing a very good job of it. I think it's supposed to be a painting of someone riding a horse, but it's too abstract for me to be able to say for sure. A bunch of baubles and trinkets. No idea what they could be for. I feel like he's staring right into my soul.
The soothsayer went through a little bit of a change. Originally, you went into this room, you said, "I'm here to see Tiberius," and he sent you up. So he was kind of some kind of secretary or middleman. It was never quite clear. And so we came up with this idea of this kind of power hierarchy where you were going to report to the soothsayer. But then when he saw the letter, he kicked you up the food chain to the big boss, to Tiberius. So that kind of established a bit of a pecking order, which I like.
Some people might wonder why the soothsayer is so curious about Amy and why he basically goads her into showing him the letter. The subtext here, which I came up with when fleshing out the characters, was that Tiberius had found out that Milton was a double agent and sent him to fix the reactor, which Tiberius had sabotaged to cause a tremor and crush Milton, making it look like an accident. The reason Tiberius sent someone else to the same place was to confirm that Milton had been killed, so when Amy reports back,
Please don't touch those. You'll contaminate their auras. You are the girl who was sent to repair the reactor.
Yes, that's right. I've done the job.
Excellent. Minister Tiberius will be most pleased. I have been authorized to give you your payment. 1 ticket for tomorrow's lottery drawing. Oh my.
Is something wrong?
Your aura. I felt it when I brushed your hand.
My aura?
Yes. You must allow me to give you spiritual counsel. I sense great turmoil within you.
No, that's okay.
Please, I insist. There is no need to be afraid of the spirits. I can promise they are more afraid of you.
Oh, what the hell.
I'll need both hands, please. Now, please, relax. I need to study your aura. Interesting. Your soul appears to have a tiny seam right in the center, a loose thread, dangerously close to unraveling. The source of this seems to be a decision which torments you. What did you encounter on your job, if I may ask?
I met a dying man. He made me promise to deliver a letter.
I see. Do you have this letter with you?
Yes, it's...
May I see it? I feel it has great importance. Yes. Minister Tiberius would be most interested in this. You should speak with him about it. He is just up the stairs. You may tell him I have sent you.
Thanks. That was...
Think nothing of it.
Hello?
Yes? What is it, citizen?
Your soothsayer gave me my ticket, but he said I should see you.
Ah, a lottery worker. Thank you for your service. What was your task?
The broken reactor in Sector 82. You had sent another technician ahead before me.
Ah, yes, of course. The one that never reported back. I take it you made his acquaintance.
I did. He had been crushed under some rubble. I had to...
Yes, quite unfortunate. I suppose you can consider yourself lucky that you did not meet the same fate. Perhaps this good fortune will continue for tomorrow's lottery drawing. Now then, what exactly did you want to speak to me about, Miss...
Wellard. Amy Wellard. Well, the man who died, he gave me this letter.
Oh? And he wanted you to deliver it to me?
No, actually. He asked me to deliver it to someone called Danton.
I beg your pardon. Did you say Danton?
Yes. Somewhere in the Market District.
I see. Do you intend to honor this man's dying wish?
Yes. I made a promise and I plan to keep it.
Then I wish you the best of luck in your endeavor. A word of warning, however. I have heard that this Danton runs in rather undesirable social circles.
I'm sure I could take care of myself.
I have no doubt that you can. However, I also think it would behoove you to refrain from mentioning any contact with me. Once you have delivered your letter, come back here. I believe I will have more work for you, with better pay. You are interested in more work, aren't you?
I don't know. That last job was pretty dangerous, and
Very well. You have your payment. If you choose to return for more work, I will not turn you away. Know, however, that my generosity has its limits. Now, if you've nothing else to discuss, I bid you good day. I'm sorry, my sweet boy. Where were we in today's lesson?
A lot of you have probably been waiting for this, and yep, that is Abe Goldfarb doing the voice of Tiberius. Abe has always asked me if he could play a villain, and he's been wanting to play a villain for a very, very long time, and I was glad to give him this role. And really, there was no contest when we held the audition. Tiberius is a very difficult character to play because you could so very easily go cartoony and make them all, snooty and foppish, and Abe resisted that. I mean, there was a touch of that because that is the character, but he managed to keep him grounded and at the same time very menacing. So Abe did an amazing job here, and really no one else could have played him.
Tiberius was originally not called Tiberius, he was called Caligula. That was one of the first things that I came up with when establishing this world, and honestly, it was the most difficult one for me to change. The reason it was changed was because initial feedback mainly felt that with a name like that, he was clearly either evil, insane, or both. Since my goal was to present the factions in this game as moral gray areas rather than clear-cut good guys and bad guys, it made sense that this prejudice would hurt the character. I really had a hard time letting go, but in the end the only justification I could come up with for why he should be called Caligula was because it sounded cool, so I had to make the sacrifice and change it to Tiberius. Caligula does live on, however, in the form of a bust at the entrance to the tower elevator.
Your aura is one of the more vibrant ones I have seen in some...
Here's your weapon back. By order of Tiberius, I've restocked your crossbow with a couple of bolts. Consider it a gift from the Ministry for your loyal service.
Thanks.
Soothsayer give you any trouble?
No, but he didn't exactly impress me with his insight. I mean, he didn't even tell me I was... Anyway, I might be back later.
If you can't hear singing, but you see their eyes
Hey,
Hey,
have you got...
if you check back,
Bye, Gord.
good.
Sale. Definitely not Clem's. He hasn't had a sale in years. I wonder where Clem gets the materials to make all this stuff. How's it going?
Not so bad, Amy.
Are you sure you can't tell me anything about Danton?
Sorry, Amy. I don't think I can. Maybe if you had something else besides just the name.
What's with the chalkboard on the wall?
That old thing? Been there as long as I can remember. Maybe the person who lived in the building used it as a message board. Who knows?
See you later.
Take...
The ticket is for this week's vaccine lottery. It's number 3211420. My trusty, I've got 2 bolts. Clem, you know how I was asking about Danton? It's because I was given this letter to deliver. Does that ring any bells?
Not really. Hey, Amy.
What?
I suggest you brush up on your calligraphy.
Come again?
Just some advice.
Do you have any less cryptic advice?
You'll figure it out.
What kind of advice is brush up on your calligraphy?
Attention citizens. If you spot anyone with signs of advanced
Clem has a hard
green
enough
lung,
time
be
convincing
sure
people to come
report
into
them
his
to the
alley.
Ministry of Medicine. Doing so will save lives.
I really should be going.
So,
No, I haven't quite reached today's quota of looking at dead. See you later, guys.
you bet.
Hi, Denby.
Oh,
Do you know of...
No, that's a pretty stupid sounding name if you...
I think I...
Really?
How about a...
Ha! Thanks, Amy.
Hi, Denby.
Oh,
I think...
really?
Why not?
Oh, thanks.
I haven't gotten... Hello? I have... Okay. It's already been picked. I'm not really... The well's been... I can't...
Attention citizens.
Hi,
2
Mom.
minutes
Good
of
to see you.
silence will be observed this evening at sundown in remembrance
Tell me
of
something.
I
Blast Day.
remember when I'd come home from teaching at the university, my wife would have dinner prepared and we'd eat together while listening to music. That was our nightly tradition. Dinner, some nice jazz, and hot mint tea afterwards. It wasn't anything special, but it was our I think that's probably what I miss the
I think...
Of course.
I feel I need to brush up on my calligraphy.
You don't say. In that case, allow me to give you one of my books on the subject. It will definitely help you.
Thanks. I should talk to Nelson if... Hi, Nelson.
Good.
I'll see.
I look.
It's already... I don't think he'd be... It's in no... I don't see how I don't see...
The chalkboard puzzle is probably one of the most challenging ones in the game, so apologies if you got stuck on it. But it took an immense amount of tweaking to get where it is now. Ben coded the mechanics of the chalk, allowing the player to draw freely. The trick was figuring out how to register that the correct symbol had been drawn so that there could be some indicator that the player had done it right. In early tests, lack of feedback confused players who weren't sure what to do next after completing the drawing. Fortunately, it turned out that it was possible to check if the symbol had been drawn, and once I coded that in, the puzzle feedback became much clearer. We also had to tweak the calligraphy book graphics a bit, as there were originally grids with large red X's on them which had a very unclear meaning. As it stands, I think the clues are sufficient to make this puzzle solution logical and fair.
Better not. I done...
Oh.
I think I...
Really?
You could draw Tiberius with stink lines coming off him.
Yeah, and I'll write Tiberius stinks underneath. Thanks, Amy. I'll get to work on that.
I can't ring it by hand. I think I can get a clear shot from here.
Oh, crap!
That was a pretty good trick, Amy. I won't tell him it was you.
I just hope he learned his lesson. Well, since Denby's no longer using it, I'll just hold on to it for him. Let's take a closer look. That should be right, but now what? Well, that did something.
You! Come down here. Who are you, and what are you doing in here?
My name is Amy, and I have a message for Danton.
And? What is it?
She doesn't look very friendly. Tough-looking guy. I wouldn't want to get on his bad side. He's studying some documents. Looks pretty engrossed. Those don't look too comfortable. Those don't... He's sound asleep. Nice to know things are relaxed enough around here that he can do that.
One question that came up a lot on Primordia after I worked on it, was what were my influences, and everybody kind of assumed it was Blade Runner, which was funny because it wasn't, but in retrospect, like, I could totally see how other people would think that, and it clearly is very inspired by, feels like it's inspired by, but it was actually more inspired by other things. And so with Shardlight, I feel like one of the first things I thought about for the commentary was talking about what my influences would be. So very early on, I was told to be influenced by Steve Wilson, and I really liked his music and enjoy his work, but I didn't listen to him a ton before the project. I did listen to some of his work and really enjoy it, but not as much as, say, other artists. And so I think the first time when you're given suggestions of who to be inspired by on a soundtrack, you look for comparisons to artists who are really at the core of things you are familiar with.
Here, I was given this letter to deliver to Danton.
I see. Wait here a sec.
Who are you, and where did you get this?
Danton, I presume?
Indeed. Now answer my question. Where did you get this letter?
I have to give a special shout out to Felicia Hudson, who plays Danton. Casting this part turned out to be way more challenging than I expected. We got a lot of really good auditions, but there weren't any that made me think, that's the one. I learned later on that Shelley had pushed Felicia to get her audition in on time because she had been going through a stressful move and wanted to audition, but hadn't had time. When she finally sent it and I listened to it, I knew she was perfect for the role. I got to sit in on her first recording session, and she was really great to listen to. So nice work, Felicia.
It was given to me by a technician in Sector 82.
He gave it to you? Why? What happened to him?
He was crushed under some rubble. He gave me the letter after I agreed to, well, put him out of his misery. I tried getting him out of there, I swear, but he said this was more important.
Damn it. Milton was a good man. His loyalty won't be forgotten.
He wouldn't have given that letter to just anyone, Danton. She must have earned his trust somehow.
Yes. Although I still have a few questions. What were you doing down there in the first place?
I was doing a job, fixing the reactor. He was down there, crushed, dying.
Was he now?
Yes, and he asked me to deliver this letter.
I don't know about her, Danton. Are we sure she's not lying?
Bruce makes a good point. You could have just stolen this letter. How can we be sure you didn't?
If I had stolen it, why would I have gone through the trouble of delivering it?
If you're a government spy, you'd go to any lengths to find us. I'm curious, what was it you said to Milton that made him give you this letter?
He asked me about my dad. Turns out they knew each other.
Oh?
Yeah, Cooper Wellard.
What? You're Cooper Wellard's daughter?
Come to think of it, I do see a resemblance.
I never heard anything about him having a daughter. Did you know?
No, I...
Hang on, just who are you people anyway?
Seems he protected you from us. Can't say I blame him. Thank you for delivering this letter. In exchange for it, we'll let you out of here. But you must swear to me not to tell anyone what you've seen in here.
I thought you were supposed to help me. Why shouldn't I just go tell everyone how pointless this was?
In time, your help will come. Meanwhile, I strongly discourage telling anyone about our presence. I would hate to have to do anything to stop you.
Fine. I swear I won't say anything.
I'm glad that's settled. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to read this message. Do be careful with what you stumble into, Amy. And I'll just take that book off your hands.
Tough lady.
The best leaders tend to be, yes.
Hi. Well, that's just rude. Hey.
What do you want?
What are you doing here?
I'll tell you what I don't do, and that's answer questions from strangers off the street.
Fine, I see how it is. Are you Danton's personal bodyguard?
That's right. I make sure only the right people get to see her.
And exactly who are the right people?
People who don't ask a lot of questions.
Keep on doing what you're doing.
That's far enough.
Now is not the time for a nap.
So, found Danton, did you?
Yeah, interesting lady.
You could say that, but her heart's in the right place.
So I take it you're involved with those people in there somehow.
Maybe, maybe not. I'm just keeping my nose where it belongs. Sorry I couldn't just give you the secret knock, but it's not really my place. I knew you'd get it on your own.
Fair enough.
Anyway, I'll let you get on with your business. Have a good one, Amy.
Thanks. I'm not interested in this stuff. I've got my mother's old set at home. No, not now. Relax. Deep breaths. You can beat this. You can beat this.
Are you all right, young lady?
Yeah, I'm fine.
If you don't mind my saying, you don't look fine at all.
I'm fine, really. I was just out of breath.
Lying to yourself isn't the answer. You should embrace your demise.
Oh, I should I?
You've been marked. It's obvious. The Reaper is coming for you. You should consider yourself lucky. It's only a matter of time before you pass on into the next world and liberate yourself from this.
Look, creepy. I'm not spending what time I have left alive worshipping death, okay? Leave me alone.
If that's what you want, then I will. But remember that accepting him will make your remaining life much easier. Should you change your mind, the acolytes of the Reaper will welcome you at the Cathedral of...
The one with a half a plane sticking out of it?
That is the one. May death come to you swiftly.
I think I'm gonna need a few more lottery tickets after all.
Green lung, the whole disease that is the motivating factor for a lot of things in this story. That came about as a remnant of the idea of setting this game during the Black Plague, and we came up with the idea of having this green plague, I guess, for lack of a better term. And I think the sort of science behind it that I came up with at first was because in the terminal phase, it was going to make the people's lungs glow green. And like I had this really cool idea of the image of people with these just glowing green lungs that you could see through their clothes and stuff because they were like basically radioactive. But we figured out pretty early on that was physically impossible because how would a disease make your lungs glow green? So we cut that. But
yeah, the physics of it were really impractical. I think you came up with the idea of it being glowing green after you'd seen some of my initial art with the sort of glowing green shards, and we're like, oh, the radiation does it. But the way radiation glass works and the idea behind it is not conducive at all to those two being sort of... And I know even Dave at one point was like, oh, make it so the shards are making people sick. And I'm like, it doesn't quite work well enough. Yeah. It's not solid enough to be the basis of a plague.
Yeah. Plus, I didn't like the idea of the shards being what made the people sick, because that kind of made the whole world be like this horribly... I mean, it is a horribly oppressive place anyway, but the one thing that makes it look cool, I didn't want that to be a negative. So, yeah. There's concept art of what I thought Green Lung would look like, and I think I wanted to have a plot, when that was still a thing, I wanted to have a plot point where you had to like disguise the fact that you had Green Lung by wearing a leather vest or something ridiculous.
Now you have
like
to do
that.
the opposite.
Yeah, now you do have to do the opposite, so funny how that worked out.
But the whole... It just never really worked. It never really worked well in my mind, having these glowing green sickness things. It feels a bit too Fallout with the ghouls and like...
Yeah.
Just this... I mean, you can get away with a lot in fiction, but we did try and keep a lot of it grounded in science. Not to be like overly technical or like this would actually happen, but like at least we have a rough idea of why this happened.
Yeah, so ultimately there's no real reason now for why it's called Green Lung, but I guess we never really need to explain that. It's a bad plague. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, I mean, well, they cough up the green bile.
Hey, Gordon.
Amy, what were you doing talking to that Reaper cultist?
Nothing. He was just trying to get me to accept the Reaper or something.
Don't listen to what those people say, Amy. I mean, they talk to ravens. Ravens!
I know, Gordon.
Anyway, what can I do for you?
Have you got anything good for sale?
Nothing that would interest you currently, but I get new things in all the time. If you check back later, I'll let you know.
Bye, Gordon.
Goodbye.
Are you okay, Amy? I thought I saw you having some trouble there.
Yeah, I'm fine. The Reaper cultist was just trying to get me to join their church.
Oh, right. Keep away from him and any other ones you might see. They're nothing but bad news.
Thanks, Gus. See you later, Gus.
You bet.
Hello, Marishka.
Amy, hello.
I have to go now.
Okay, you come back and see me again soon, all right?
Hi, Nelson.
Good.
I'll see you later, Nelson.
I look for.
A reminder to all citizens, the next drawing in the vaccine lottery will be held tomorrow at sundown.
She looks kinda happy. She's smiling anyway. Judging from the location, I would say that head belongs to the broken statue. This statue has been heavily damaged. It's practically unrecognizable. It's creepy how you can't see the face underneath the hood. They look strong. Hi there.
Welcome. What may I help you with?
Who are you, miss?
I'm Claire. Who are you?
Amy. I'm guessing you're one of the acolytes of the Reaper?
You guessed correctly. I'm here to make sure those who pass through that door are ready to die.
That seems like a pretty lofty responsibility to give to one person.
Not as much as you would think. Most people are worthy, they just don't know it yet.
What are you all doing here?
Worship. We worship the Reaper and wait for our times to come. When any of our members expire, it's cause for celebration.
Are there many of you?
Around 50 of us currently, but we always accept those who truly seek death into our flock.
I'll just be going.
Farewell.
I've only visited 3 cathedrals in my life, all of them Australian, so when it came time to draw a cathedral, I based my design on Australian cathedrals. When I showed Ivan my design, he showed me photos of European cathedrals which are much more ornate and make our Australian ones look boxy and plain in comparison. After that, I tried adding a bit of extra structure to the sides.
When the Reaper comes
I
around,
can't get to the
he'll
flowers.
take away
They're sealed
your
up
soul,
inside the booth.
put you in his pocket, and take you for a stroll. Beware the red-eyed ravens, they mean the Reaper's near. He'll take away...
No.
The Reaper watches from the skies and sends ahead his birds. They let
I have business with Tiberius.
Very good. Your weapon, please.
Welcome back. I had a vision I'd be seeing you again. A chill wind blows from the east. I fear this is an ill omen.
Ah, you return!
Yes, and I delivered the letter to Danton.
Excellent. You have made contact with them. Good work.
So, do you have any more jobs for me?
Yes, as promised. As I'm sure you've gathered, Danton is the head of a group of terrorists bent on destroying the government. I need you to be my spy.
Spy? Are you serious?
Quite serious, I'm afraid. I can assure you that they have nothing but the destruction of our society in mind. Would you watch this new civilization we've struggled to build be undone by a group of upstarts?
No, but they don't really seem like much of a threat, just a group of idealists.
Yes. And the last time a group of idealists formed, they attempted to destroy the Ministry of Knowledge. Danton's group is an ever-growing threat, and they must be controlled and subdued as quickly as possible. Return to them. Tell them you wish to aid them. If they request you perform some task for them, do so to gain their trust. Of course, use your judgment wisely. If you break any laws, I can only offer you so much protection. When you know more of what they plan, come back and inform me. And as before, do not let them know you are there on my behalf. They would surely kill you on the spot.
I don't know. I'm starting to have second thoughts about this.
I realize this is a dangerous undertaking. If you succeed, I can offer you a government job. You'll be able to receive vaccine as you need it.
If I can have a mechanic's job, then we have a deal.
I'm sure we can arrange something. I wish you luck in your task. Of course I have a backup plan. Now behave yourself, and let us continue with arithmetic.
I wish you luck on your task, young lady, and offer some advice. Beware false friends.
How did you... Right, I guess that's your job. Never mind.
Some people might wonder why the soothsayer is so curious about Amy and why he basically goads her into showing him the letter. The subtext here, which I came up with when fleshing out the characters, was that Tiberius had found out that Milton was a double agent, and sent him to fix the reactor, which Tiberius had sabotaged to cause a tremor and crush Milton, making it look like an accident. The reason Tiberius sent someone else to the same place was to confirm that Milton had been killed, so when Amy reports back, the soothsayer is trying to use the guise of his supposed psychic powers to get her to reveal what she found. As Tiberius suspected, Milton had some evidence on him linking him to the rebels, and so he manipulates Amy into searching for them in a very Machiavellian way. This, of course, is never stated explicitly in the game, so now you know a little secret because you listened to the commentary. Nice work.
Here's your weapon back.
Thanks. Hi there.
Welcome.
Can...
Are you ready to die?
No.
Then maybe you should get on with it. Time is precious after all.
One executive meddling decision I made was that you can get access to this location, the exterior of the church, almost at the very beginning of the game. I really wanted the Reaper cult to be a major part of the narrative in the first half of the game. And I wanted you to see this location and see it as this potentially cool thing. But you can't get there yet. It's a kind of a goal to be achieved. And a number of testers complained that there is no reason for you to go to this location at this time, and it's a little frustrating. And yeah, I kind of agree with that sentiment, but at the same time, I think the narrative benefits outweigh the mere practical concerns. So that's me being a little bit artsy. Maybe we could have handled this a different way, but I still think it works the way it is.
The cathedral was a location that I had a lot of fun designing. Obviously, it was going to be the home of a cult dedicated to worshipping death, so having it be the site of a great loss of life seemed like a good way to add some character to the place. The horrible juxtaposition of a crashed airliner sticking out from a place of worship was something I thought would make for a striking image, which is why I asked Ben to make the scene scroll so we could have a dramatic establishing shot and pan down to the playable area.
Where do you think you're going?
Inside the cathedral.
Not without getting clearance from me.
Can...
Are you ready?
Yes.
You lack conviction. You still need to prepare yourself to be ready to die. You should come back when you're serious.
Hey!
Have you got...
Nothing. If you check back.
Bye, Gordon.
Yep.
May I help?
I want to go into the cathedral, but I'm not allowed.
I had a feeling that might be the case. The doors will not open to just anyone. You must be truly willing to embrace death in order to enter.
I really should be going.
So be it.
Just couldn't stay?
No, see you later.
You bet.
Amy! Didn't expect to see you back so soon.
Yeah, I remembered that I had something else to talk to Danton about. No big deal, really.
Whatever you say. You again.
I'd like to speak with Danton.
Fine.
So you're back. What is it now?
I know who you are and what your people are doing. I'd like to help.
I'm flattered that you want to help us, but I feel we have some matters to resolve first.
What matters are those?
Enough of these games. You're going to have to start telling me the truth if you want to get out of here alive.
What? I have been! Let's not be so drastic.
Don't play coy with me, Blondie. Do you think I'm stupid? I had you followed when you left here. I know you went to the Ministry of Energy. Now I'm only gonna ask you this once, and I want the truth. Are you working for Tiberius or aren't you?
I am. I was told to spy on you and report everything I can.
Well, you're either a terrible spy or your loyalty to Tiberius is...
It's a lottery job. I'm just doing what I was told.
A lottery job?
And what other choice have I got? It's not like I can walk up to the Ministry of Medicine and buy a dose.
I'm so sorry. You don't deserve what's happening to you. This is why we have to act. They've been beating us down for so long, nobody remembers a time when they were prosperous and free. Struggling against the system may not be pretty, but it's the only way we can improve our lives.
Danton, if she's got a connection to Tiberius, she could prove useful.
You know, you're right. Having another double agent would be beneficial to us now that we've lost Milton. But I'm not gonna make you this offer for free. I'd hate for Tiberius to outbid me for your loyalty. Instead of hoping your lottery ticket gets chosen, how about you end up with as many actual doses of vaccine as you want?
So you say you have vaccine. How do I know you're not lying just to get me to help you?
To be completely honest, we don't have vaccine right now, but if all goes to plan, we will. I'll tell you more as soon as you help us out with something. Are you familiar with the junk vendor and butcher in the market?
Gordon and Gus? Of course. They're good friends of mine.
Then it may interest you to know that they work for me.
I had no idea.
They usually spare us some of their extra supplies, but they've been unable to keep up the last few months. I suspect they've fallen on hard times. See what's going on with them and help them if you can. Once you've finished, come back here, and we'll do what we can for you. Oh, and when you talk to them, use the code phrase, "I've got the perfect life." That will let them know you're working for me. Now get to it. Don't come back here until you've finished. And remember, I expect your loyalty. If you set foot anywhere near the Ministry of Energy, I don't want to see you meet an unfortunate end. I'm sure you understand.
Don't bother. The aristocrats cut out her tongue.
My God, that's awful. Why would they do that?
She used to work for the Ministry of Knowledge. She was caught stealing books, and that was her punishment. Apparently, Claudius did it himself. Ugly business.
Hey,
What?
how'd you get involved with Danton anyway?
She's family.
She is?
Yeah. When her parents died of green lung, she was left homeless and forced to beg on the streets. My folks took pity and adopted her. She can be kind of hot-tempered and rush into things, but I try and keep her in check as best I can.
Keep on doing what you're doing. Hey, Gordon.
Amy, what are you looking for?
You know, if you helped me today, I'd have the perfect life.
You mean... Ah, I see. Be careful where you say that.
Right, sorry. Anyway, what are you doing to help the others?
A little extra scavenging for items they might find useful. But lately, I've been too distracted by the situation with my daughter. You'd think that for all the crap I collect, I'd have found something to at least try and make her a more effective mask. Only place I haven't had a chance to check out lately is the old Syntrex factory, even though I'm not sure there'd be much of use in there. I just want her to be safe. Losing my wife was bad enough. I can't lose her too.
I know, Gordon. I know. I'll keep an eye out for what you need. You just try to relax.
That would be awfully kind of you, Amy.
Anytime. Bye, Gordon.
Goodbye, Amy.
Just couldn't stay away, could you?
No, I haven't quite reached today's quota of look. How are you? Shh! Not sorry. So, how long have you been...
About a year now.
But why? Isn't it risky for you?
Sure, but to be honest, I kind of like the excitement. Makes me feel like I'm part of something important. Plus, things need to change. Just look around you. We can't live like this. Kids can't grow up like this. Danton's gonna bring back the old days.
Anyway, I was told you were having some trouble, so I wanted to help.
Not sure what you can do, but swing by the farm if you want. Pop was asking about you the other day. If nothing else, talk with him a bit. He misses you.
See you later, God.
You bet.
Hello, Amy. You know...
I'm happy for you, Amy.
Looks like you had quite the harvest.
Yes, thankfully. Though nothing is keeping very long. Weeds have become a big problem. Anything you want? You're looking very skinny these days. Take a pumpkin. One of these days, you'll get so skinny, you'll turn around and I won't be able to see you.
It's all right, Mariska. I ate yesterday. I'll be fine for a...
No.
Relax. You said something about weeds being a problem? What are they called? What do they look like?
Blue burglar. It grows very fast, very difficult to control. Pretty blue flowers, though. Too bad they ruined my vegetables. Luckily, I finally got them under control. They won't come back for a long time.
Blue flowers? Now that you mention it, I think I've seen those someplace. Thanks, Mariska. I have to go now.
Okay, you come back and see me again soon, all right?
It just says furnace. I guess it's meant to be some sort of warning. I would have expected these things to be completely boarded up, or at least sealed. Syntrex. I remember hearing a lot about them. They're the ones who used to manufacture all the uranium glass before the bombs. Remember Blast Day. Support the aristocracy, and you will be supported. Nice looking vehicle. Doesn't look like it would take too much to restore it. Just a couple of spark plugs, most likely. I haven't got time to do much scavenging right now. Maybe later. I can't believe this hasn't been scavenged yet. Wood in this condition is so tough to find. What idiot would leave this wood lying around? It's in such good condition. I don't need to take any more wood right now. Huh, it's unlocked. That's kind of surprising. Denby, what are you doing here?
Oh, living. That's what people do.
Did you run away from home?
I don't really want to talk about it. You can hang out here if you want, though. It's nice to have some company.
These are nice. It's like you've turned this place into a private gallery.
Yeah, I keep them around for inspiration.
I'm guessing this valve must control some kind of gas flow, assuming it still works, of course.
Yep, it does.
Hey, these are pretty good. All yours?
Yeah, they're okay, I guess. My favorite's the one of the pilot.
What are all these signatures?
Like I said, I've been practicing copying handwriting. Those are just my practice sheets.
Denby looks right at home in here. This one doesn't look finished.
No, it's still a work in progress.
Is that supposed to be me?
Yeah, you're the only woman I know who isn't old and wrinkly, so you're way easier to draw.
Nothing going on in there right now. That furnace could really be useful. This is a really great find.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it?
Pretty. Too bad the legs are broken.
Yeah, I wonder how that happened.
I don't want to risk damaging it any further.
Yeah, probably best to just leave it where it is.
Not much I...
It's best...
Hey, Denby?
Yeah?
How long did you say you've been living here?
Around 2 months. Not a bad place, really. There's plenty of room, and nobody comes by, so I've got all the privacy I could want. Well, nobody except you, anyway.
I could leave you alone if you want.
No, that's not what I meant. It's cool that you're here. It's nice to have someone to talk to.
Why did you run away?
I said I didn't want to talk about it.
Well, is it some problem with your family? Is there anything I can do to help?
No. I felt like I was getting in the way. Mom and Dad have been having a hard time getting us all enough food, and my brother and sister are little, so there's not much they can do for themselves. I figured it would just be better for me to go off on my own. I mean, I still go back and see them and give them anything extra I've got, but I kind of like having my own space, you know?
Yeah, I know. Look at you being responsible. I'm so proud of you.
Ugh, whatever. No need to be gushy about it.
How did you manage to get in here?
They didn't do a very good job of boarding up the doors. It was pretty easy to get in. I'm surprised nobody else tried before I did. I mean, there's like not much left in here, but glass is pretty valuable. I might trade it to Clem.
Does any of the stuff in here still work?
Yeah, I think the furnace still works. It's connected to the gas anyway.
The gas is still on?
Yeah, it's on a natural line, so it's still under pressure even though the power's been cut. I try to keep it off as much as I can though, just in case. Besides, if you need natural gas, I've pretty much got you covered.
Good to know. Just don't light yourself on fire. You know, I've got the perfect life.
What the hell are you talking about, Amy? Have you gone crazy?
No, I'll just leave you to whatever it is.
Thanks.
One later addition to this factory was Denby. Originally, he was not in here. All of the interactions you have with Denby in here weren't in the game. This was a later addition by Francisco, because I had raised the point, and spoilers by the way, that the later torture scene with Denby, I didn't really feel the weight of it. Like, he was willing to endure torture for Amy, but I wasn't really feeling it. And he added this scene here, he put Denby in here, so we could spend more time with Denby and get to know him a lot more. I mean, he's fun. The relationship between these two characters is fun. And now I actually feel bad for Denby knowing what's coming, and hopefully you do too.
The character of Denby. I think we have a few things to say about him. I think you have a few things to say about him.
I mean, it's a reference to Lewis Denby of Beef Jack, who I worked for at Owl Cave. I worked on a couple of things for them. Most notably, Charnel House Trilogy, which is very similar in mechanics to this, but very different in tone. And that was a fun little game to work on. Little. It turned into something much bigger than we sort of anticipated.
As games always do.
Yeah, but Lewis actually posted on the AGS forums looking for artists, and I replied. This was before I was working full-time for Dave. I was working on Blackwell at the time. And yeah, just knowing Lewis and talking to Lewis, somehow, you make little jokes up, and Lewis Denby became the name of a character in the game. I don't really know how you got involved on the Denby joke, but I think it doesn't really.
Yeah,
I really like
Denby.
I really like making references to people in games. It's a really fun thing for me. There's a sign in the bazaar scene which has like Ray's Emporium or something like that, but it's actually the other member of Owl Cave, one of the other members of Owl Cave at that time was writing under the pseudonym Ashton Rays, so that's a reference to her. And yeah, it was just a fun little thing. I think it's sometimes you would be like, oh, we need a name for this character, and I'd come up with a stupid suggestion, as we did with the name of the game, and for some reason you'd run with it, and I was like, okay.
Well, sometimes that's fun to do. Another thing to mention about Denby is how his character evolved, because we touch on a little bit on it in other points, but he was one of those characters that kind of started off as just kind of this generic, like, dorky teen who had a crush on Amy, but we had to fix him around a lot, and he actually became a pretty, sympathetic character. But I remember when we were first beta testing the game or trying it out, or I gave you a build to play, you had a very unique voice for Denby.
Yeah, you presented the character to me as a dumb teenager in quotes who likes Amy, and you'd sort of given him this outfit that I'd drawn. You're like, I'd drawn a weird picture ages ago, and you're like, oh, I'll give him that outfit. So
that was complete coincidence, wasn't it? Or did I do that on purpose?
No, you did that on purpose. You told me that you did it on purpose.
Okay,
and I noticed it. And you were pleased that I'd noticed it. But yeah, I was sort of playing the game, and I came across this guy, and I gave him this sort of, hey, Amy, sort of dumb, horrible teenager voice. And for some reason, that stuck, and you started giving him that voice too. And then Dave came on and was like, guys, you can't have this character that you hate in a game,
and it was funny
and expect
because
people to be sympathetic to him.
Yeah, exactly. When I told him that, he was like, oh man, if that's how you guys feel about this character, you guys have to make him more serious, or at least
that's what you get
people to take him more seriously. So yeah,
that's what you get for expecting people to understand our jokes.
Oh well.
So one of the tracks in the game didn't have a real guitar, and this was because my program allows me to sort of figure out what could be playable on a real guitar, but it doesn't take into account how hard the transitions are in between chords. And one of the tracks I made,
I can't just go around shooting people. Take care of yourself, Denby.
I'll try my best.
Oh, God, that smell. I think I might be sick.
Amy, is that you over there?
Hey, Pop. Gus said you'd been asking after me?
It's been ages since I last saw you. Come over here and let's have a look at you.
Are you under the weather, Pop?
I'm not, but I can't say the same about my sheep. Take a look around. Hell, just take a whiff. That's the stench of failure. Things are bad. Don't know if we'll be able to dig ourselves out of this hole.
Did your sheep get sick? What happened?
Ran out of feed, so half of them starved to death. It's not a pretty picture. Haven't been able to find anything else they'll eat. The farm's gone barren, and now the only thing I'm feeding is ravens. Truth is, if I can't come up with a way to keep the rest of the flock from dying, I'm done for.
I'll keep an eye out for anything that might help.
That'd be mighty kind of you.
Why are all these ravens hanging around?
Well, they're hungry too. Now that they got plenty of carrion, it's an open buffet for them. Little bastards have gotten bold too. Nothing I do seems to keep them away for long. At least having them around means nobody comes snooping around. They run off at first sight of them thanks to that kooky Reaper cult.
I think we're having the same kind of day.
What's the matter?
This morning I found a man underground. He'd been crushed underneath some rubble. And pulling that trigger was the hardest thing I've ever had to do.
I'm sorry, Amy, but it sounds like you did the right thing.
Did I, though? I could have found someone to help. Why did he have to die?
You listened to what the man wanted, it sounds like. In this hellhole, that's all we can ask for in our last moments.
I guess you're right.
Of course I'm right. Like he said, even if you had gotten him out, you wouldn't have had much of a life left to live. It's not something anyone likes thinking about. It's reality.
I know. I mean, I see death almost every day, but this was different somehow. Thanks, Pop. I think I needed to just get that off my chest.
Anytime, Amy.
I didn't realize you knew so much about the Reaper cult.
I don't, and I don't want to. They're just a bunch of freaks who think worshiping the Reaper is gonna make them die quicker.
But I thought the Reaper was just a story.
It is, but they think the Ravens are a sign that the Reaper is on his way to take them away from their woes. So naturally, any half-wit who believes that crap and sees a Raven gets scared and goes running in the other direction. Bunch of bullhickey, all of it. Anyway, it's best if you stay away from the Reaper cult. Don't want to put any ideas in your head.
Don't worry. I met one of them earlier. I'm not going anywhere near them if I can avoid it. I'm sorry you're having trouble, Pop, but...
Is that a
Yeah. Did Gus not tell you?
Tell me what?
Nothing.
Whatever you say.
What did you say the problem...
Ran out of feed, so half of them starved to death. It's not a pretty picture. Haven't been able to find anything else they'll eat. The farm's gone barren, and now the only thing I'm feeding is ravens. Truth is, if I can't come up with a way to keep the rest of the flock from dying, I'm done for.
I'll keep an eye out.
That'd be my...
I have to go.
Come back and visit whenever...
It doesn't seem to be doing a very good job of scaring away birds. Can't understand why. That gas mask on the face is pretty damn creepy. That old thing has been broken for years. I don't know why Pop doesn't just take it down. It's just perched in the tree, watching me. Poor thing. That one is feasting on the corpse of a sheep. At least someone around here is getting regular meals. Poor thing. Creepy little thing. From out here, the city looks kind of whole, like the pictures in Nelson's books. I wish these birds would stop staring at me. These don't look like they've been used for quite some time. Pop's been like a second father to me. I remember when he was always smiling and joking, but lately he's just been looking really old. They look like they would fall apart as soon as I touch them. Say, Pop, would you mind if I took this gas mask?
Nah, it's fine. Not doing too great a job scaring the birds, so I doubt taking it off will make much of a difference. Hope you weren't planning on using it, though. The filter's no good.
That's fine. I'm sure I'll find some use for it. Shoo! Hey,
Amy!
Have you got...
As a matter...
What is it?
An aristocrat guard ran through here earlier and dropped his flintlock pistol. It got a bit damaged, but I figured you might be interested in messing around with it for parts.
Yeah, I'd love to. What are you willing to trade for it?
Well, it's mostly in new condition, so it would have to be something fairly valuable. But you know I'm not terribly fussy. Anything you think I might like.
What was it you said you'd trade for the pistol?
Anything of similar value. Those aristocrats have some pretty nice stuff. But you know I'm not terribly fussy.
Bye,
Goodbye.
Gordon, I know you said you wanted a gas mask. I've got this one, but the filter is empty. Would you at least be willing to trade the pistol for it?
Yes, this is good. If I can get a filter, this would be exactly what I need. Take the pistol. But if you find any filters...
You'll get your filter, I promise. I'm sure somebody around here has to know something about them.
Yeah, now that you mention it, Nelson's probably the guy to see about that. He's got books on just about everything.
Hi, Nelson.
Good to see you, Amy.
Coming out here, reading books, it makes me realize...
Ah, I do as well. It gives me pleasure to help how I can, although I'm...
What made you decide to join them?
Danton makes some good points, despite being a bit overzealous. The favoritism the aristocracy showed their elite patrons after the plague began is completely inexcusable. Once the poor couldn't fund their medical research, we were quickly cast aside for those who could. Danton is brash, perhaps a bit foolish, but her ideals are what we need.
I think I'd like to read for a while.
Of course. What subject are you interested in reading about?
I want to read up on science.
Wonderful. I think I've got just the book for you.
Interesting. This information could be pretty useful. No, I haven't. I'm looking for salt, like the kind you use on meats. Where can I find some?
Well, there's plenty out at the salt flats just outside the city, but it's kind of a pain in the ass to go out there. The walk takes a while, and lugging the stuff back's a chore.
It shouldn't be a problem. How do I get there?
You know the abandoned South Coast rail yard near Fripp Square? Just follow the main track down about half a mile, and you'll find it.
Thanks. See you later, Gunn.
You bet.
I can't believe I never knew about this place. It's the perfect spot to get away from everything. Am I hearing things, or is that music? I'm surprised this thing hasn't been chopped down for firewood yet. Looks like this train has been here a long time. I wonder when the last time it actually ran was. This door looks as though it's been in use recently. Plenty of salt has been dug up here. I'll take a handful. Looks as though someone has been excavating for salt here. Probably Gus.
The train in this scene is inspired by a childhood memory. My father had a little model train track with electric model trains that would travel around it, and my brother and I particularly liked the train that was based on a General Motors Electromotive Division.
It's locked.
If you can't hear
I
singing,
can't get to
but
the
you
flowers.
see their
They're
eyes
sealed
glow
up
red,
inside the booth.
the Reaper will be coming to take away the dead. Whoa, Amy, what are you doing?
Just letting these flowers breathe. Don't get near the broken glass, okay?
Okay. When the Reaper comes around, he'll take away your
I really
soul.
hope I don't have to keep
Put
dealing
you
with broken
in his
glass.
pocket and
This
take
has
you
got
for
to be
a
the
stroll.
weed Mariska mentioned.
Beware the red-eyed ravens. They mean the Reaper's near.
This is
He'll
apparently
take
blue
away your
burglar,
loved
a
ones
weed that
and
grows
all
incredibly
whom you
fast.
hold dear.
It's way beyond repair. Hey guys, what's going on?
Hi, Amy.
How about letting me have a turn?
Sure.
Cece, my playmate, come scavenge stuff with me, and we'll be jolly friends. Climb up the rotten tree, climb down, and we'll be jolly friends. Miss Mary Mac, all dressed in black, because her brother, he asked a ministry, if they had work, to get some medicine. He went away, nobody knows if he's okay, Okay. I'll see you kids later.
Bye, Amy.
Pop, have you seen this weed before?
Sure, that's blue burglar. Haven't seen it in ages, though. Where'd you get it?
There's some growing near my plate. Why is it called blue burglar?
Because it creeps up on you, seemingly overnight. Plant just one and your whole field will be full of them in a month.
Would your sheep eat it?
I think they'd eat anything at this point. Wouldn't hurt to try. Thanks, Amy. I'll go get some more and plant it tonight. At least the sheep we've got left might still stand a chance.
Happy to help.
Manager, a word, if you would.
Yeah, what is it?
The Ministry of Resources is in need. You are hereby requested to provide your stocks of meat for government distribution.
But I hardly have any meat to spare, and it'll be a while before I can get more.
Be that as it may, Aurelius has extended you the courtesy. In exchange, you will be provided 2 water purifiers per month.
I don't know. I have to think about it.
Very well. If you change your mind, please notify the Ministry, but know that this offer will not last forever. Good day to you, citizen.
Hey,
Hey!
I'm still on the lookout.
Thanks. Hopefully something to...
Bye, Gordon.
Goodbye.
Just couldn't stay away.
No. Your sheep should be fine now.
Really? What did you do?
Just gave Pop some blue burglar. He said it should be able to feed the sheep soon.
Oh, you're a lifesaver, Amy. I can't thank you enough.
I'm just glad I could help. I saw you having words with that guard. What was that all about?
Yeah, nothing. He was just trying to get me to sell out to the government. I promised Danton I'd give the rebels my extra supplies. I'm not betraying her for the wigheads.
I admire your look. See you later.
You bet.
I'm back. Hope I'm not interrupting anything.
If you're worried about that, you could always try knocking.
Fair point. Nothing in there but ash.
What?
I said ash, Denby. Randomly throwing salt into a furnace doesn't...
But it might make for some cool sparks.
If I put wood on there like this, it'll just fall on the bottom when I light the furnace.
Yeah, and then the burnt smell will linger for days.
This plank of wood is... The bucket is heat resistant, but it's also empty. I don't see any reason... Not a bad idea, but I should put the wood in some kind of container. Salt is... At least this will make carrying the wood around slightly easier. Okay, I'll rub salt into the wood. That should prep it for carbonization. I've already prepped the wood. Salt is...
What are you doing?
An experiment.
Boring.
Not when it involves burning stuff.
Oh, well, yeah. That's cool then. So, did your experiment work?
Don't be so nosy. I've got a piece of wood in my bucket. Not much I can do with the outside of the furnace.
It's best just not to touch it. I learned that the hard way.
Not much I can do with the outside of the furnace. I've got a piece of wood in my bucket. Now we're cooking.
What? You're actually gonna cook?
No, it was a figure of speech.
Oh, thank goodness. I still have nightmares about that lamb stew sometimes.
I'll make it again if you don't shut up.
Copy that.
not about to go sticking my hand into a lit furnace.
I'll give you my pumpkin if you do.
Fat chance. Nice. The wood burned long enough to become activated carbon.
What?
Spend some time reading Nelson's science books and you might learn something. Burning the salt-infused wood left me with this lump of activated carbon. Hey, Den.
Yeah?
I'll just...
Thanks.
Time for...
Oh.
Gordon, look. I got you some charcoal for your gas mask's filter.
I don't believe it.
Then listen. Nelson has a science book explaining how you can make charcoal filters. It's really not that difficult. If you can find or make more masks, you can make filters and provide them to anyone who needs them.
I'm stunned, Amy. Thank you for your help.
We've all got to look out for each other.
Merchant, a word if you would.
What do you want?
Aurelius of the Ministry of Resources is officially requesting your supply of raw brass.
What? But brass is my most valuable material. It's practically impossible to come by these days.
Correct. Which is why in exchange, the Ministry is offering you 10 food vouchers a week. Do you accept this offer?
I don't know. 10 food vouchers a week is a lot, but I'll have to think about it.
Very well. If you change your mind, please notify the Ministry, but know that this offer will not last forever. Good day to you, citizen.
That's a tough offer to refuse. Why didn't you accept?
Because if I hand over my materials to the aristocracy, I won't have enough to provide to Danton.
That's pretty loyal, Gordon.
She's what we need to change this place, even if it hurts in the short term.
Glad to see you've returned. I assume you've managed to sort things out with our suppliers?
Yes.
You've done well, Amy. I think you'll get along here just fine. But understand this. Committing yourself to help the Resistance is not a promise made lightly. We require your full cooperation and transparency. No secrets or lies. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, quite clear. So I'm guessing there's more work to be done?
Come with me. Thank you for helping our suppliers. As you can probably tell, recruitment has been slow, which has hindered our progress. But I think with your help, we just may be able to initiate some changes.
What is it you had in mind?
That letter you brought us came from our contact in the Ministry of Medicine. It contained extremely valuable information. I need you to infiltrate the Ministry of Medicine and confirm what this letter says. Do you have any questions?
This Milton, who was he? Why did knowing my father make him trust me?
As I mentioned before, he was our double agent in the Ministry of Energy. With his help, we were able to establish our contact in the Ministry of Medicine. In the early days of the rebellion, Milton also recruited your father as the official mechanic. They were good friends. I never met Cooper myself, but my understanding is that he was just as loyal as Milton. Losing them both has been a blow. I think we'll manage, though. After all, we have you now.
You mentioned my father was with the rebellion in the early days. How come he never mentioned it?
It doesn't surprise me. The previous attempt at a rebellion was met with disastrous failure. They didn't manage to get very far before being discovered and quelled by the aristocracy. Your father and Milton were the only original members to escape unharmed. It's taken us a very long time to get back on track, but I intend to avenge our forefathers and deliver the justice they died for.
If you're so against the government, why do you use the Ministry of Medicine's symbol as your code to get in here?
That's exactly what the aristocracy would expect. Having our own symbol would make us easier to find once they figured out what it was. Sometimes the best way to hide things is to put them in plain sight.
Can you tell me what it is I meant to find?
Our contact was unable to provide the exact details in case the letter was intercepted. But if the information he did give us is correct, it means the government is covering up something very important having to do with the green lung vaccine. If you confirm this, it will be exactly what we need to expose the government's lies and incite a revolution.
What if it turns out to be a false lead?
It won't. Believe me, you'll find something in there. You have to.
What's the plan for getting me into the Ministry of Medicine?
An excellent question. You know how the wealthy have contracts with the aristocracy based on their support when they first formed?
I have a vague idea, sure.
If a government supporter were to show signs of green lung, the aristocracy would waste no time in sending a doctor to treat them. I want you to go to Fripp Square. My sources tell me that a notable supporter has recently been showing symptoms of the plague. His name is Silas Harrison. He should be visited by a doctor very soon. Find out when and where the visit will take place. Then, intercept the doctor, disguise yourself, and enter the Ministry of Medicine. Once you've done that, you'll locate the central storage room, where they keep the vaccine supply. I suspect that's where you'll find what we're looking for.
Maybe I should write all this down. It's a lot to keep track of.
No, I'm sorry, but we can't have a paper trail. I trust you'll be able to make this happen. I know it's complicated and dangerous, but believe me when I say this information will change everything.
I guess I should get started.
Good. Head over to Fripp Square and find out where Harrison is. That should get you close enough to intercept his doctor. You might also try checking at the ministry itself. They might have some information on when the doctor is set to make his house call. Once you're in the ministry, you can identify our contact by using the code phrase. I'm not sure how much help he'll be able to give you, but having an ally on the inside is at least better than nothing. I wish you luck, Amy. Remember that if you succeed, the Resistance will reward you in far greater ways than the aristocracy ever could.
There's a bunch of stuff scribbled on it. Rule 1. Do not talk about the rebellion. Rule 2. Do not talk about the rebellion. A somewhat crude map of the city. Looks like they're planning something near the Ministry of Energy Tower. Looks like she's writing down coordinates on that map. They must use this for target practice. The wig and noose are a nice touch. She's really good. I've never seen someone's hands move so quickly. He's doing a nice job fixing that crossbow. Remember to wipe your feet when entering. There are no maids in this resistance. He seems to be hard at work on something. Looks like a radio. Those don't look too comfortable. Hey.
What do you...
What's your theory on what's inside the Ministry of Medicine?
Knowing the aristocracy, it could be just about anything. But from what I've heard Danton say, it's definitely something big.
Keep on doing what you're... She can't...
Good day to you, merchant.
Go away, you dog. I have nothing to say to you.
Now, there's no need to be.
I just try to make my living here. I have family to take care of, and no help from the aristocracy.
Well, if you would just let me...
My brother Pavel went out scavenging days ago and has not returned. We're all worried he's dead. What does the aristocracy do? Nothing. Sit in their towers and watch us starve. You are young. You do not remember life before the bombs. It was different. Guards were our friends, not monsters.
I appreciate your position, but...
Look, I think it's best if you just go. She's clearly upset.
Fine. I was here to extend an offer of food vouchers from the Ministry of Resources. But if she feels that way, good day to you, citizen. I apologize for upset.
Oh, thank you, Amy. I always get so angry when I see those guards.
Clem has a hard enough time convincing people to come into his alley. Taking this sign will only make it worse. The guard has the door closed. Something tells me that's a good thing. He looks kind of bored. Must be some kind of checkpoint for visitors. Doesn't look like it would be very comfortable in there. The main entrance to the Ministry of Medicine. I have to find a way in there. Excuse me.
What is it, citizen?
Could you tell me about this building, sir?
You don't get out much, do you? This is the Ministry of Medicine. They're in charge of all health-related issues in the city.
So this is where people come to get their vaccines?
Correct. Entry is by appointment only, I'm afraid.
I kind of figured as much. You know someone named Silas Harrison?
Silas Harrison? The name sounds familiar. But then, I see plenty of names on a daily basis. I have to write the name of all scheduled appointments here in my ledger.
Don't suppose I could have a peek at your ledger?
Afraid not, miss. This is for government eyes only. And, not to be rude, but you don't look like a government employee to me.
I just have to say...
Good for you, miss. Now please...
Keep up the good work.
Have a nice day.
That's a nice statue, although the base looks a bit unstable. Let's hope this works.
What was that? What a mess. I told them this would happen eventually.
Let's just have a look at this. Here we go. Silas Harrison is being visited by a doctor this evening for green lung treatment. This information could be very important to certain people. Might be a good idea to take it with me. Fripp Square. I do so love the dirty looks I get from people when I walk through here. This guy is the local news delivery system for the residents of Fripp Square. This poster is encouraging people to get vaccinated for green lung. If only it were that easy for everyone. Hello there.
May I help you with something?
Have you heard the name Silas Harrison?
I have, yes. He's fairly well known around these parts.
Can you tell me anything about him? Like where he lives?
Lady, I'm a town crier, not a town directory. If you want to put your nose where it don't belong, you're better off talking to Flora and Genevieve on the other side of the square.
So you're a town crier? What do you actually do?
I deliver the news to the people of Fripp Square. They ask about specific headlines, I tell them. Some sort of breaking news arrives from the government? I read it. It's rather simple, really.
Can I hear some news?
Very well. Right now, the top headlines are Ministry of Energy restarts generators. Terrorists rumored in the market district. Mysterious object spotted over quarantine zone. And the weather report. So, what'll it be?
How about Ministry of Energy restarts generators?
Fine.
Attention citizens, the following is an important news bulletin. The Ministry of Energy released a report saying that they have succeeded in restarting 60% of the city's reactors. As a result, more power will be available, starting with the area around Fripp Square. This concludes the news bulletin. Please resume your normal activities.
Please don't touch that.
That's what the newsreader uses to make sure everyone around here knows what's going on.
May I?
I've got...
You, of all people, have the perfect life? I guess that really is news.
I've got things to do.
Well then.
There's always at least one scene in a game that I never end up happy with, and this is the one in Shardlight. I really struggled with doing a rich, nice part of town in a style that I'd developed specifically to show a devastated wasteland, and the colours just never really did what I wanted. I've tried fixing it multiple times, but in the end had to be satisfied that I wasn't going to get it to work in any way that I'd be satisfied with, and move on.
You may have noticed several posters scattered throughout the environment. I decided fairly early on that I wanted to have these propaganda posters in the world to give it a sense of history, as well as illustrate the strong presence of the government. I looked online and found several posters from World War I and II, as well as the Cold War, and had a lot of fun recreating them as close as possible to the originals, but putting my own Shardlight spin on them. Even though you can't see them close up in-game, I think they managed to add a lot. Close-up views are available under the concept art section of the bonus content when you complete the game, so check them out if you get a chance.
One of my policies, which kind of limits me in terms of voice acting, is that I want to work with local actors. I don't like working remotely. I don't like working over Skype. There's just something you lose when you do that. And since I live in New York with tons of actors, I can indulge myself in that. And the exception, of course, is if you are not local but can somehow get here. And Sam Kernet, the guy playing the newsman, took the train from Vermont just to get into New York to play this role of the newsman.
So this soundtrack had a lot of leitmotifs and themes in it, and I tried to sort of work in not only the fact that there'd be musical composition.
That's a pretty dramatic statue. I guess that must be the eponymous Mr. Fripp. You know, I have to admit, this one is kind of cute. The Ministry of Knowledge. It's where they keep all the documents and educational materials from before the bombs. Extremely limited access, of course. He looks fairly lost in thought. That's Nero's banner. He's in charge of the Ministry of Knowledge. I'd rather not get... This is the intersection of Jordan Street and Booth Avenue. It's a small waste bin. It appears to be almost full to the brim. Oh, please, please, please. She seems to be having some private conversation with her friend, but I can't quite make out what they're saying from here. Wow, a 2003 Fairway debutante. I'm surprised it's still intact. Most of these were gutted for parts and metal in the years after Blast Day.
And that's ruthless. Get all the couldn't.
Excuse me?
Yeah. Oh. Where did you come from? She looks like she just came from the quarantine zone. Don't be silly. You know nobody ever leaves that awful place. In any case, I'm sure you've got a lottery job you should be doing. Why don't you run along and leave us to our conversation? Which reminds me, I need some new servants. I was entertaining guests the other day, and they kept interrupting. Good help just keeps getting harder to come by.
Excuse me, sir?
Hello, miss. Oh, what can I do for you?
I'm Amy Wellard. It's nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you too, Amy. My name is Maximilian Huber, but please call me Mac.
Do you live around here?
Yes, just around the corner, but ever since my wife passed, I like to get out of the house and spend time with my friend.
Your friend?
Yes, the Raven.
So, how much time do you spend with your friends?
Not all day, but most of it. They are beautiful creatures, aren't they? How those Reaper cultists have turned them into a symbol of fear is beyond me, but to each his own, I suppose. I only wish I had something to feed them with. The poor things look terribly hungry.
What do they eat?
Anything, really. Meat, vegetables, insects. They're not picky eaters by any means.
I'm looking for Silas Harrison. Do you know him?
Know him? Not personally, but I know who he is, certainly.
You wouldn't happen to know where he lives, would you?
I'm afraid not. I never had any cause to pay him any social calls at his home. My apologies.
Do you know the two women over there? They're kind of rude.
Them? Oh, don't pay them any mind. They're just a couple of harpies who have nothing better to do with their time than gossip about everything. You should hear them any time the newsman reads out a headline. It's non-stop chatter. But please, let's discuss something more worthwhile.
You know, it's days like these that make me realize
That's a lovely attitude to have, my dear. Your optimism is...
Have a nice day.
You too, my dear.
There's no way I can just walk in there. I'd have to fill out heaps of paperwork and probably wait years for an appointment.
I don't remember what game it was, but there were a bunch of birds on the ground, and when you walked near them, they flew away. And it was such a neat little immersive detail that I knew I had to use it from one of my own games one day. And when I saw this scene with the old man feeding the ravens in the park, I quickly asked Francisco, the ravens gotta fly away when you walk over them. So he indulged me, and they're in the game now.
The character of Max Huber is a pretty blatant...
Max Huber?
Yeah, it's a pretty blatant reference to Out of This World, or Another World as it's known outside of North America.
As I call it.
As you call it.
Like real people.
Yeah, like real people. I bet you probably also use the metric system too. Ugh.
Delicious.
Anyway, so yeah, if you've played that game, you know that the alien at the beginning says something which sounds like Max Huber. So I thought it would be Yeah, I thought it would be hilarious to name a character something that sounded like Max Huber. So we called him Maximilian Huber.
It's funny to me because I love Another World, but I don't know how that became a thing that we talk about. You actually, oh no, you played it as a kid.
Yeah.
But never, you got very, very, very close to the end, but never did the very last bit.
I got to the very final screen. And then I had to...
And you didn't pull the lever.
I pulled the lever, but at the wrong time, and I got killed, and then I had to return the game because I had rented it, so, yeah.
There you go.
But yeah,
I'm not quite sure. You actually replayed that a little while ago.
I've replayed it several times. It's a great game. You should all play it if you haven't.
Yeah. It's good.
But yeah,
I've replayed it. I've played it like 100 times or something.
The whole reason it became a sort of meme between you and I was because we both liked it and we both talked about it and we thought it was funny. And I still maintain that if I'm ever near you on Halloween, I want to do it as a dual costume.
Yeah, I could be the big
Yeah, you
dumb
could be the
alien.
alien.
So I've got way too much hair
Well, you wear a
to
bald
be a bald
cap.
alien in shorts.
You wear a bald
yeah, and
cap.
little shorts and boots.
Yeah, I think it'd be great. Anyway, another thing with this guy on the bench
Oh,
is
man.
it's I don't remember if it was an intentional reference or if it just sort of.
I think it was.
Okay.
I genuinely think it was.
Yeah, so you made a game called Eternally Us back.
I did the art and some of the design for Eternally Us with Stephen Polton
Yeah.
back in 2010.
Right.
And we made it for another competition, for a month-long competition this time. And yeah, there's this puzzle that I designed right at the very beginning, which everybody hates. Like, everybody loathes this puzzle, where you have to get food to a little pigeon, but the big pigeons keep pestering him. So somehow that seemed fun enough to make a reference to in this. But yeah, everybody absolutely hated that puzzle because it's the hardest puzzle in the game, and it's the first thing you have to do.
Yeah, it's okay.
So, and it never kind of turned out. Sometimes you design a puzzle and it never turns out how you thought, so you tweak it or you cut it or everything. But when you're doing things for a month-long competition, you run out of time to do that. So yeah, it ended up being something that a lot of people really did not like. But anyway, it lives on.
According to this page, Silas Harrison is getting a green lung treatment this evening at sunset. I'm not picking up those ladies' garbage.
Hello,
have
you two.
Hello there.
May
Can I hear?
Very well. Right now, Ministry terrorist, and so.
I'd like to hear.
Right, you are.
Attention citizens, the following is an important news bulletin. This past week, several citizens reported sighting a strange object in the sky over the quarantine zone. Rumors have persisted that it was the Reaper. However, the Ministry of Knowledge insists that this is not the case. The aristocracy reminds citizens not to be swayed by baseless rumors and superstitions. This concludes the news bulletin.
I think you should have a look at this.
Interesting.
Attention citizens, the following is an important news bulletin. Silas Harrison, noted government philanthropist, has contracted green lung. He is due to begin medical treatment this evening. Anyone who has had contact with Harrison is advised to monitor their symptoms and to notify the Ministry of Medicine if they begin feeling ill. This concludes the news bulletin. Please resume your normal activities.
Hello, Marish.
Amy!
Do you have any vegetables a raven might like to eat?
Ravens? Yes, I see them around my garden all the time. They love my alfalfa sprouts.
Have you got any for sale?
Sure, but take this bag.
Are you sure?
Yes, I owe you after helping me with the guard. It's the least I...
Thanks. You really shouldn't make trouble with the...
I'm not making trouble. It's them who are causing all the problems.
You know as well as I do, you haven't got a brother named Pavel.
Well, they need to understand that life's not easy for... It's not like they do anything about it.
Just try not to get so riled up, Marishka. He was trying to help you out.
The day I take help from those dogs is the day...
I have to go now.
Okay, you come back and see me again soon, all right?
It's full of alfalfa sprouts. Excuse me, sir. I got this bag of alfalfa sprouts. You know, so you can feed the birds.
Thank you. This will certainly make the birds pleased.
I'd rather not get too close. That's the tiniest raven I've ever seen. Poor thing. It's too scared to eat with the bigger raven. Excuse me.
Hello, miss. Oh, what can I...
That little raven up there isn't getting any food.
You're right. I'll toss some extra food closer to it so it can eat.
Those flying rats just knocked the waste bin over. Oh, the smell!
Disgusting. I hope a street cleaner comes to clean it up.
Seriously. Well, it's about time someone came. Now, what was that you were saying, Genevieve?
Can you believe Harrison kept his disease to himself?
I know. I was just at his manor last week. Now I'll need to go to the ministry and get checked.
Everyone on Thredson Street will. He should know better than to throw parties if he's got green lung.
I'll bet his gardener gave it to him. His love of topiaries will be the death of him.
Interesting. A mansion on Thredson Street with topiaries. I just hope Harrison's tastes are unique.
Oh dear, you frightened them.
I'm Dr. Collins from the Ministry, here to see Mr. Harrison.
Of course. He's in his room. Just walk down the hall. It's the 4th door to the left.
Damn, looks like I got here too late. But maybe there's still a way I can get close to the doctor without being seen. Nice, even if I have no idea what it's supposed to be. Nice. Interesting. Looks like the house goes back a ways in that direction. Hard to tell from this distance, but it looks like that's the kitchen in there. Decadent. This Harrison guy is clearly doing well for himself. Fancy doors. Too bad they're just out of my reach. He's got quite the artist's touch. These topiaries are pretty impressive. Nice looking bird, although I'm not sure what kind that's supposed to be. They're creeping up the side of the mansion. So cliche. This window looks into the kitchen. Looks like there's nobody upstairs. Either someone was careless, or they just enjoy. Looks like there's nobody. I can't reach it. Those vines are way too flimsy to support my weight. Anyway, I don't need to go upstairs. This window looks into the kitchen. This window look. This window look. This window looks. Time to do a little peeping.
Good evening, Mr. Harrison. What seems to be the trouble?
You know damn well what the trouble is. I've got that blasted plague.
What symptoms have you been having?
Last week, the coughing started. Since then, it's only gotten worse. And yesterday, I hacked up some blood. I've had a fever all of today and haven't felt like eating anything since yesterday. Not to mention, I haven't been able to sleep a wink.
I see. Have you been in contact recently with anyone showing symptoms of the disease?
Well, 2 weeks ago I was relaxing outside in my yard when some vagrant came by to ask if I could spare any food. Well, naturally I told him I couldn't, but he became belligerent when he heard that and spat in my face. To think, a man of my stature with green lung. I can't imagine the scandal.
Green lung doesn't discriminate, Mr. Harrison. It can affect anyone.
So can you do anything for me, Doctor?
Not to worry. You're in good hands. Your support of the Ministry of Knowledge means you'll receive only the finest care the government can offer. I'm going to give you a dose of vaccine. That should fix you up by morning, but you'll need to get another dose in about a month's time.
Why can't you eggheads at the Ministry of Medicine get off your collective asses and develop a cure already?
We're trying, believe me. This isn't an easy disease to cure, but the treatment works almost instantly. You'll see.
So I'm stuck getting this injection once a month for the rest of my life?
I'm afraid so, although I'm sure you'll agree that it beats the alternative.
Yes, well, that is true. I could be dying in the streets like those filthy mongrels in the quarantines.
Yes, with the monthly injection, you won't have to worry about entering the terminal phase.
Let's not think about that. A dreadful business, really. Let's focus on my treatment.
Of course. Just hold still a moment. There we go. You should feel like a new man in just a few hours. Now, I'm going to leave an appointment card here for you. Just bring it to the Ministry of Medicine when you're due for your next vaccine dose.
Can't I send my servant to get it for me and bring it back here?
The green lung vaccine is a valuable commodity, Mr. Harrison. We don't release it to just anyone.
So can't you just come back and shoot me up when it's time? I don't want to have to go all that way.
We'll see. I know you've curried favor with the aristocracy, but I'll leave the card here just in case. Oh, and I'll leave a little something with your butler to help you sleep. But give the vaccine a few minutes to circulate before you take it.
Thank you, Doctor. I appreciate it.
Think nothing of it. Feel better, Mr. Harrison.
That card is my ticket into the ministry. But how am I supposed to get it?
Damn! Where is that confounded servant of mine?
Someone clearly cleans this glass daily. It's spotless. The window's not locked, but I can't open it while Harrison is awake.
For some reason, I thought it'd be a fun little experiment to animate the tied-back mosquito net on the bed, blowing gently in the breeze when Amy opens the window here. This actually proved quite difficult to do smoothly at a low resolution, especially because I had to animate separate layers of translucent cloth, which meant a lot of experimenting with weird ideas to get it to finally work. The finished animation is 60 frames, despite the fact that it hardly moves very far at all.
Hi, this is Nathaniel Chambers with...
Andrea Kaplan Chambers.
This is my wife, and she helped me out with some of the sound effects later on because we couldn't find... I couldn't find good pre-done sound effects for shoes on tiles and shoes on carpeting, and so I basically asked her to do that for me. So I pointed a mic at her shoes and had her walk a bunch. What was that like?
It was fun, actually. I have a pair of really huge boots. The brand name is called New Rock, so they're just...
It's unlocked. An odd place to store a sack of flour. I guess they must have used it recently. I'm no baker. That can stay right where it is. Would you look at that? It's like a portable well. This is most likely where Harrison keeps all his fancy silverware. A variety of knives. They don't look like they've been used much. I wonder if he gets his from the salt flats, too. I wonder if Clem or Gordon would be interested in something like that. Ugh, there are snails in here. Rich people are weird. I don't think I'll be needing any more salt right now. A ladle and a wooden spoon. Standard kitchen equipment, I guess. I'm sure no one will notice one missing ladle. Those towels are surprisingly clean. Guess they don't see much use. Nice and soft. Looks like someone hasn't washed up yet. I wonder when these were made. They don't exactly look fresh. Someone made tea recently. It smells slightly fruity. I can't believe all this food is going to waste on just one person. Odd. I would have thought someone as well-to-do as Harrison would have an electric stove. Odd. I would have thought Looks like tonight's dinner is some kind of soup. I can see the front yard from here. I'm not the maid. They look stale. I was never much of a tea. This could come in handy if I decide to start up a soup kitchen. Tomato. I don't see how I can... Rich, creamy, all in all, an excellent soup. I'm guessing this is what Harrison uses to call his servant. I shouldn't mess around with the window right now. The servant might see me. I shouldn't mess around.
Originally, the kitchen featured a small trash can where the sack of flour now rests. It was placed there mainly for decoration, and even had some interactivity in the form of Amy stepping on the lever and opening it to remark that it was empty. However, during testing, a lot of people rightly pointed out that having it there was misleading, as they thought Amy should be able to move the trash can to stand on it and be able to reach the bell. While a viable alternate solution, it would have required extra time and animation, so it was much easier to just replace it with another object.
I shouldn't draw any attention to myself. I shouldn't mess... Well, if nobody else is getting... A little dry, but at least it's better than nothing. They look stale. I was never much... I'm no baby. I've already got a weapon. I shouldn't... Those vines. I can't... The window's not locked. I can't think of...
I've given him a dose of vaccine. He should be back to normal by tomorrow.
Oh, joy. I'm so relieved.
If it's any help, I have some sleeping pills for him. He should be ready to take them shortly.
Good. At least that'll give me some more peace for a while. Soon enough, he'll start ringing that damn bell for everything again.
Well, I wish you luck. I need to head back to the ministry now.
Thank you, Doctor. Have a nice evening.
You too.
Well, that didn't do much. He's got quite the artist's touch. I can't do much with the windows from here. I won't be able to get inside from... I don't think I'll be able to...
So it begins. You rang for me, sir?
About 10 minutes ago. What on earth took you so long?
I was...
Never mind the excuses. Just give me one of those sleeping pills the doctor gave you.
Yes, sir. Will you be wanting it with your usual lemon and elderberry tea?
That's fine.
Then if you'll excuse me, I'll return shortly.
Finally. I thought he'd never get to sleep. Quietly now. That card is my ticket into the Ministry of Medicine. That's a fairly big bet for someone who's sleeping alone. That kind of looks like a funeral urn. It's a painting of a middle-aged woman in a nice dress. I wonder who she is. Why would Harrison have a chair here? Is it for people to watch him sleep? Harrison must not like sleeping in the dark. So now I'm stealing an old man's only means of getting more vaccine? I really hope there's something in the ministry worth finding, Danton. Oh no.
Dave mentioned earlier about the idea of giving Amy green lung, which worked great, but Ben pointed out during an early playthrough that we don't actually see the effect of her having the disease aside from having her mention it. This opened up the perfect opportunity to have Amy have these green lung attacks to ramp up the drama and tension at certain points in the game. My favorite is this one, where it starts off as a dramatic bit where Amy is at risk of getting caught, but also reveals a different side of Silas Harrison, making him more than just a crotchety old man.
No, please. Of all the times.
What? Who's there?
Shit!
Ophelia? Is that you? Well, they told me you were dead. Oh, my dear Ophelia, come back to take care of me. I'm sick. I knew you would. Ophelia? Are you there, my love?
That was a little too close.
Just had to come back, huh?
I keep you around for something. This card says that Silas Harrison is entitled to an evaluation with a Dr. Elliot Collins. Denby, you mentioned before you were good at copying handwriting.
Yeah, sure.
Do you think you could copy this doctor's writing?
Shouldn't be a problem. What do you need me to do?
Change the name on this card to mine.
Oh, yeah, easy. Just give me 2 minutes. There you go.
Hey, nice job. This card says that I'm entitled to an evaluation with a Dr. Elliot Collins. This card says that I'm entitled... Don't get into any trouble, Denby.
I just forged a government document for you, Amy. I think that's kind of impossible now.
Excuse me.
What is it, citizen?
I'm here to see Dr. Collins.
Is that so? I assume you have an appointment?
Yes, I've got my card right here.
So you do. All right, I'll open the door for you. You'll be checked in and directed to his office. Enjoy your day, and I hope you feel better.
Thanks. Here goes nothing.
Hello, miss. May I help you?
I've got an appointment with Dr. Collins.
I see.
Is there a problem?
Well, how can I put this kindly? You don't exactly look like our normal type of visitor.
What does that mean?
It's just the way you're dressed. It's not typical of the people we normally see here. How exactly did you get your appointment, if I may ask?
Oh, I guess it's because I've got the perfect life.
What? Is Danton stupid? Didn't she at least tell you to get a disguise?
Well, she did, actually, but I found a better way.
You do realize how much you stand out, right? If you try and see the doctor looking like that, they'll call security and have you escorted out. Then they'll start asking me questions about why I let you in, and things will only escalate from there.
So, any ideas on how I can get a disguise?
I'll have to think about it. Just don't go any further into the ministry until we figure something out.
It's kind of hypnotic. Is that what the wig heads look like without their masks? If so, I can see why they never take them off. What are those supposed to be? Danton's mole. Don't know how much he'll actually be able to help me, though. This looks like some kind of directory. It might be useful in getting around this.
Welcome to the Ministry of Medicine. Please select a destination or request.
I'd like some directions.
Please state the name of the room you would like directions to.
Central storage.
One moment, please. Error. Password required. I'm sorry. You do not have proper clearance to access that information. Do you require further directions?
Nothing else.
Thank you.
Hey.
What can I help you with?
Is the central storage room accessible from here?
Sorry, I don't know. They keep the location secret, and I'm not at a high enough rank to have that information.
What's that panel used for?
It's a directory. Navigating the ministry can be a bit daunting, so it's designed to ease the process. People still manage to get lost, though. I don't know why they made this place so confusing.
So have you thought of a place to get a disguise yet?
Honestly, the only place I can think of would be the staff locker room. It's just down the hall. Hopefully you won't run into anybody on the way there. Just look it up on the directory so you know where to go. And be extremely careful. If my cover gets blown because of you...
I'll be discreet, I promise. Thanks for your help.
It's what I'm here for.
Welcome to the Ministry of Medicine. Please. One moment. Walk down the hall 2 meters, then make a left. Do you require further...
Nothing else.
Thank you.
The ministry seems like a pretty tight ship. I don't think I'll be able to disguise myself in this doctor's coat without raising any suspicions, but let's just see if there's anything in the pocket. Nope, nothing. Oh well, it was worth a try. Attention employees. Please remember to lock your valuables in the provided lockers. The ministry is not responsible for lost or stolen property. Nice bag. I'm guessing it belongs to whomever owns the coat. Let's see what we've got in here. Nothing much except a pair of shoes. They look like they might fit. These are a pair of men's shoes. They're too big for me. I think that goes into the showers. These lockers don't have any identifying marks on them. How are people supposed to remember which one is there? Looks like this cleaning cart is mainly used for storing bottles. Nice to see they keep this place clean. These lockers don't have any. Nice to see they keep this. I've already got a bucket. I'm not a. Interesting. Looks soft and clean. The label on this tin says it's Astro Brand Powder Disinfectant Cleanser. The label on this tin says it's Astro Brand Powder Disinfectant Cleanser. The label on this bottle says it's Achilles Brand Floor Cleaner. This one is empty, but I can see the lock mechanism and it's surprisingly simple. It shouldn't be too tough to jimmy one of these open. I just need something thin to get in the doorframe. This one is empty. It shouldn't be too tough to jimmy one of these open. I just need something thin to get in the doorframe. This should do the trick. Nothing worth taking in here. Nothing. Empty, apart from some old chewing gum wrappers. Aha! This set of clothes looks promising. There are clothes in here, but they're way too big for me. Nothing in here but a soggy old towel. Definitely not interested in that. Empty. Right, I'd better make this quick. Oh, that was nice. I can't remember the last time I took a hot shower.
Welcome to the
Hey.
Hey, now that's more like it. What can I help you with?
Thanks for your help.
It's what I'm here for.
Hey.
What?
Thanks.
It's what.
Welcome. Please state the name of the room you would like.
Dr. Collins' office.
One moment, please. Follow Queen West Wing. It is the. Do you require?
Nothing.
Thank you.
I'd hate to be that poor guy on the right. A recruiting poster for the vaccine lottery. I can't deny it's an effective campaign. She looks bored. Who knows how long she's been waiting here. He doesn't exactly look thrilled to be here, but then I can't really blame him. This looks like something someone would have in their home, not at a doctor's office. Looks like a pile of brochures about the Ministry of Medicine. This looks like a pile of brochures about the Ministry. Soothing, although to be honest, now I kind of have to go to the bathroom. The window is closed, but I imagine the doctor's receptionist is back there somewhere. I really hope this doesn't take too long. The aristocracy, guiding tomorrow's youth. Just a wall rack with a bunch of Ministry of Medicine brochures. Looks comfy. I guess that goes into the doctor's office. I think I should check in with the receptionist first.
Yes, may I help you?
I'm here to see Dr. Collins.
Do you have your appointment card?
Yes, it's right here.
Great. Amy Wellard. I don't seem to have you in the registry. Is this your first visit?
Yes.
Okay, not a problem. Just fill out this form for me, have a seat, and we'll call you in shortly.
Thanks.
Yes?
Do you know where I
No, and even if I did, I wouldn't be. Why are you at?
Just curious. I heard someone talking about it in the hallway.
Well, I don't think they should have been. The people in charge don't like loose lips.
Oh, forget I heard anything. I just want you to know.
Well, obviously you don't if you're seeing a doctor, but I'm glad you feel that way.
Never mind.
Uh-huh. Don't forget to have a seat and wait to be called to see the doctor.
I'm just worried they're going to give him the maximum punishment.
I don't know what to tell you. The aristocracy doesn't take kindly to that sort of thing. Have you been able to speak with him?
No. They took him in for questioning yesterday. Not even family can see him until they decide what they're going to do.
I guess the worst case scenario is he ends up in Rockwall for a few years.
I can't believe he could be so selfish as to not even consider what this will do to his family. What am I supposed to tell my grandchildren? No, your daddy won't be home for Christmas because he was selling counterfeit lottery tickets to poor people.
At least they'll know not to do what he did.
Miss Wellard, you can go inside. Dr. Collins will be in to see you momentarily. Oh, and if you need to schedule a follow-up appointment, don't forget to speak to me afterwards.
That is a heck of a lot of books. Nice to know the doctor's well read, at least. A cross-section of a human head. Odd, but kind of fascinating. I remember having one of those when I was a kid. Too bad it broke. There's a lot of interesting looking stuff on this table. I guess this must be an experiment of some kind. Some body part or system that I'm completely unfamiliar with. I guess that's supposed to be a drawing of a brain? I can't make heads or tails of this one. None of this makes any sense to me. Bodies aren't exactly my area of expertise. I wonder who those are for. Doesn't look very comfortable. Must be where the doctor washes his hands. Why would he keep a skeleton arm in a jar? There's nothing. They're most. No, it says, I love you, Dr. C, and it's signed I.S. That's the fanciest paper towel dispenser I've ever seen. This jar is full of little flat wooden sticks. I don't even want to know what they're used for. This jar looks like it's full of candy. She's pretty. I wonder who she is. I've seen one of these before, I think. Doctors use them to listen to people's hearts. It's nice to see the doctor keeps his hands clean when dealing with patients. Huh, there's 2 forms of soap. I guess this profession would make anyone a germaphobe. I guess you can't be too careful when dealing with sick patients. There's lots of scribbles and notes on here. There's one that says, this week's CS password equals next week's surgery. That's probably important. I'll just copy it down. The doctor will notice if I take this. I need another way of keeping this information. There aren't any messes to wipe up that I can see. Impressive. Feather quill pens are hard to come by. I don't think... Well, the doctor... No. I think... I just... There aren't... I don't... It's nice... I should probably... None of...
Good afternoon.
Hello, Dr. Collin.
I've been informed that this is your first visit.
Yes.
You look somewhat familiar. Are you sure you haven't been here?
Yes.
You must just have one of those faces. In any case, what are you here for today?
I have green lung. The symptoms started about a week ago.
I see. If you'll just have a seat on the examination table, I'll do a quick checkup and administer your vaccine dose. There you are. You should notice a decrease in symptoms within the hour.
Thank you, Doc.
Oh, Miss...
Yes?
I swore an oath to do no harm and heal the sick, so I would never turn away someone seeking vaccine. But I'd like to offer you a suggestion. When sneaking around other people's houses, don't stand so close to the window. I'm sure you're aware of the consequences if you were ever caught.
Understood.
Although a lot of the Ministry of Medicine ended up being kind of sparse, open rooms that you get in government-type buildings, I really like painting this doctor's office. Unlike the rest of the building, here was a room that's more personal to a character, and I really like drawing the space that a person inhabits. It allows me to put a lot of detail in about their life, their work, their habits and such. I had a great time looking up old microscopes and medical equipment as well, to get ideas for the style to use.
I don't think one of these would do me any good. I don't. I should probably... I'd really rather not. Well, the doc... No. I don't... The doctor will notice if I... There's lots of scribbles. There's one that says, this week's CS password equals next week's surd. It says, I love you, doc. There's lots of... There's one that says, this week's CS password equals next week's surgery. I can't... There's... I should probably... I'm not...
Good afternoon, Miss...
Hello. Yeah.
I see. If you'll just have a seat on the examination table, I'll do a quick checkup and administer your vaccine dose. There you are. You should notice a decrease in symptoms within the hour.
Thank you, Doctor.
Oh, Miss Wellard?
Yeah?
I'm...
Understood.
Yes, may I help you?
I was told to schedule a...
Of course. Let me just show you our calendar, and you can pick a date that works best for you.
There's already something scheduled on that day. It says, surgery, Paul Scott, medulla oblongata. It says, vaccination. It says, vaccination. Today's date. It says, house call, Jerome. It says, staff meeting. It says, It says, surgery, Paul Scott, medulla oblongata. 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 How about this date?
Perfect. I'll pencil you in. All set? See you soon, Miss Wellard.
Welcome to Password accepted. One moment, please. Central storage is located to the left of the administrative. Do you require
Nothing else.
Thank you.
I remember seeing a diagram of one of those in a book Nelson had. When the alarm is triggered, the little clapper hits the bell and makes a noise. Well now, that's certainly tempting. This must be where the crates wind up going. I wonder what's on the other side of the wall. I'm guessing this is what they use to transport the crates around. Looks like someone left a box cutter on it. That is one huge metal door. There has to be something fairly important on the other side. That is one Well, if someone was careless enough to leave this box cutter here, we'll just go with the old finders keepers rule.
The scene where Amy gets arrested went through a few iterations. In the first draft,
As tempting as it is to go trolley surfing, I should focus on the task. There. That should muffle the alarm if it goes off. Okay, let's get some of this cleaner in the bucket. Not a bad idea, but I should put this stuff inside something first. I already poured some of that in there. Astro brand Something tells me this form will be more useful in here. This looks like a good spot. Well, now if the alarm goes off, the alert will at least be limited to this room. I'm not sure.
the scene where Amy gets arrested went through a few iterations. In the first draft, it was Tiberius who walked in and arrested Amy for doing this. And that didn't sit well with me because it really made Tiberius out to be a dick. Like, he asked you to go infiltrate the rebels, and his reason for arresting you is that you broke the law. But you're already breaking the law because you're joining the rebels. And so this didn't sit well with me. And we went back and forth quite a bit. And what we ended up with is that Tiberius doesn't execute you because you broke the law. He's executing you because you got caught. Since you got caught, he now has to save face and execute you. So that kind of made sense. That felt very Tiberius. That felt like something he would do and actually feel quite bad about it. So that's what we went with.
The structure of Act 1 in the very first draft of my design document was very, very different to how it turned out in the final game. Originally, once Amy sided with the rebels, Danton immediately sent her off on a mission to poison Tiberius with green lung as a form of poetic justice. The idea was that he invited all lottery workers to a dinner as a form of thanks, and that would be the perfect place to strike. To do that, Amy had to seek out an apothecary to prepare a poison capsule. The apothecary was a member of the Reaper cult, so Amy would go there and have to be initiated to speak with him by having the vision, which appears later in the game. Afterwards, she would have to find an ingredient to finish the poison capsule, then go to the dinner and place it in Tiberius's food, at which point the soothsayers...
I don't think this chute will open manually. I don't think... I'll take this back. This looks like my bucket, full of flammable liquid floor cleaner and paper. There's not... Here goes nothing. That did it. I'll put out the fire before it gets out of control. My God. There's enough vaccine stored in here to treat the entire population for years. Danton was right. The government has been lying to everyone all along. This isn't right at all. The people need to know the truth.
Amy Wellard, by order of the aristocracy, you are under arrest for trespassing on private property, breaking and entering, theft, and tampering with official Ministry of Medicine documentation.
I'm sure there's been some kind of misunderstanding.
Our orders are quite clear. You are hereby ordered to come with us for detention in Rockwall Prison.
Don't I at least get some kind of trial first?
We're here to escort you to Rockwall, not to answer questions. If you do not cooperate, we have authorization to shoot you on the spot. You are also ordered to return those stolen clothes to their proper location before leaving the ministry.
Fine, let's go.
Wellard, we've got a visitor.
Good evening.
Tiberius, you can't let them keep me here.
I'm very sorry, my dear, but things are a bit complicated. I came to
Go on then.
Do you remember the day we were bombed, Miss Wellard? I can recall it quite well.
I was young, but yes, I was in school. I lost a lot of friends that day.
My condolences. You are aware that the reason we were attacked was for control of petroleum and mineral supplies, yes?
Sure, but what has that got to do with anything?
Rebuilding our society has not been an easy task. We still have much to do. Of utmost importance is maintaining order. Do you want?
Then why are you telling people supplies of vaccine are limited? You could help everyone and work on finding a permanent cure.
Yes. And if we were to cure the population and allow our society to thrive once more, what do you suppose would happen next?
It would be great. People could live normal lives again, not have to worry about scavenging or dying of the plague.
Oh, of course. And when a rival nation caught wind of that prosperity and decided we had something they wanted? We would be attacked, experience the horror of war all over again. I would not wish the bombings we experienced on my worst enemy. I cannot let that happen again. I will not let it happen again. Do you understand me, Miss Wellard? I'm aware that the current system is not perfect. There is a clear class divide, but we are not tyrants. The aristocracy has always striven to care for the citizens who provide aid, despite their circumstances. In any case, I am genuinely sorry that things had to turn out this way. You did perform your job quite well, perhaps too well.
I was just doing as you asked.
I asked you to infiltrate the rebels and gain their trust. I did warn you that my protection could only go so far. You could easily have come back to me and informed me of Danton's plans to invade the Ministry.
She threatened to have me killed if I set foot anywhere near your tower. What was I supposed to do?
Informed one of my guards, sent along someone you trusted with the information. Though it hardly matters now. I've gotten all the information I need.
But how?
With this.
A gold ball on a string?
A clever listening device my soothsayer came up with. It was placed in the handle of your crossbow. I have been tracking you in order to ensure I learned the location of Danton's hideout.
You've been spying on me this whole time? Why didn't you just tell me you were listening in?
It was a test of loyalty, and unfortunately, you failed. It's truly a pity. I would have loved to give you your payment. You could have continued spying, opened up a mechanic shop, serving the government. Alas, I cannot reward criminal behavior. It would not be looked upon favorably by the public. We would lose the support of citizens like Mr. Harrison.
So what, you're just leaving me in here to rot?
I'm afraid not. Order must be preserved. I find myself forced to tie up loose ends. Danton and her rebels will be eliminated. As for you, it really does pain me to have to do this. But the truth is, I have no choice in the matter. You must be executed.
What? Why?
I understand this is difficult for you. However, my hands are tied. I simply cannot take the risk of keeping you alive.
And what if I promise not to tell anyone about the vaccine horde?
I'm afraid you've proven to me already that I can't trust you. In any case, I wish to thank you for your service. I'll make sure your execution is quick and painless. Goodbye, Miss Wellard. Again, I am quite sorry.
The Raven looks like it's trying to get in, but the electrified mesh on the window isn't letting it. Weird. Are his eyes red? I should get rid of this stupid thing, but maybe it can help me. I'm I'm going to need something long and thin if I want to do that.